Let's hope the internet keeps it up. Hey, we're
Hey,
live, and that's what we do. Welcome everybody.
hello.
It's a cold evening here in the DFW. I got my my hat on,
Yes,
keep warm.
your faux fur. No,
Hmm.
no animals were killed in this production.
Maybe I
They're
just
not.
moved back
Where are the
from the
dogs?
country.
I
Uh,
had you showed me that. Where are the dogs?
The dog, they're safe. They're
Okay,
safe and sound.
okay.
Hey, big shout outs. Yes, it's nice to be back in the city. Um, so there's definitely gonna be a lot more trouble going on with the show and a lot more fun things going on as I get this internet stuff buckled in. But it's the first time in the office studio, so bear with us. But today we're gonna talk about a cleverly titled Blackish.
Blackish.
I
Yes.
like it. And you said what you had said, you said when you don't feel.
Well, you don't always feel socially black enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of settings where people can go and not feel socially black enough. I can find a couple of those places, but let's get into that as we get into the thing. But let's kick this intro and then we'll talk a little bit about black. All right, so we back, and you know what? I don't have the pad on the floor. It's carpet, but I don't have like my workout pad that I usually have on the floor, and it's kind of hard on my feet. I'm over 40, so I got to do what's right for my feet.
Well, that's why I'm sitting down with my legs elevated.
Ooh, girl, you living the high life. I gotta stand up so I keep my composure. Because if I sit down, I'm gonna be sitting there like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Uh-uh.
keep my energy going.
Look,
Um,
most nights outside of Wednesday night, by this hour, I'm trying to head to sleep. So
Look, it is winter. It gets dark at hold on, got a call. It gets dark at about 4:30 in the
yeah,
afternoon. So
and
look,
I'm ready. I'm
mhm.
ready. At
by
4:30, I'm ready.
by 9 o'clock, I'd have had 4 hours of darkness, dog. I'm like, it's gotta be midnight. It's gotta be
It's
midnight,
got
and
to be.
it's 8:37.
Yeah. Then the kids come and they say, "Mama, what's for dinner?" I'm like, "It's time for bed."
Yeah, y'all hungry? Ain't it 10:30?
Dark is 5:30. Bath bed. Let's go.
Ooh, everybody get a 6:30 bedtime right
Everybody.
now. It's,
Everybody.
mm,
You can trick them because
mhm.
they uh they correlate bedtime with night.
Oh yeah. Oh, is is it time to get up yet? Mm-mm, mm-mm,
It's still
not
dark outside.
get that. Yeah, put some
Yeah,
blackout curtains out.
yeah.
Ooh, the old tricks of the trade.
Yes, indeed.
Ah, man, so blackish. This is an interesting one.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people. I mean, it was one of the most popular shows on ABC for a reason, not just because a lot of people disagree with it. I think it is almost a common scenario, a common phenomenon, you might say, in the black area or the black community.
I think it
For
is now. I don't know how much it was when we were growing up. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, so back in the day, we could have been the outcasts, the few. But like right now, you're saying there's probably more blackish people than there were back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can dig that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
they're not so different. You know,
No.
the
Growing up, I always look, growing up when we grew up to have more than 3 black kids in one classroom where I went to school was a lot.
oh yeah, yeah. For elementary school, if it was
Yeah.
three in one classroom,
3 in one
oh yeah,
class. Yeah,
That was
no, that was
invasion.
unheard of.
Yeah, that was an
So
invasion.
and then for me, I always grew up, I guess some would describe with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I always felt, and that kind of stuck with me because like the idea of being you black, you had to be you had to grind. You had
Yeah.
to,
Yeah,
you had to
you
come
couldn't
from the
have
gutter.
nothing. You had to come from the gutter. You couldn't your parents couldn't have done well for themselves.
No, like
Yeah.
so I was always more Cosby Show than Good Times.
I agree. And I think the thing that always puzzled me was everybody loved the Cosbys. Everybody wanted to be the Cosbys when we were growing up. They wanted to have that lifestyle and
You
think
think
that way.
so? I don't know that that's true.
Man, you think people wanted to grow up to be Thelma and
I don't think people wanted to,
James and Florida?
no, I don't necessarily think people wanted to grow up to be them. I just think that culturally,
Hmm.
they were more of the norm.
So
It it
Cliff and Claire were more of the norm.
no.
Oh, okay. Florida and James were more the norm.
Yeah, I think that that's how I always perceived it. So
Okay.
the yeah, that's how I always perceived it. But I mean, like I said, I could be wrong, and that could have been something that I internalized on myself, and so like I always kind of felt like I don't really have a reason. Don't nobody want to hear you complain. Like you ain't got no problems. You got money. Your parents got money. You know your mama and your daddy. What you talking about? What
Yeah,
you?
y'all live in the same house. Y'all
Yeah,
got a house, you
yeah.
know.
Y'all got a whole house.
Yeah.
And listen, we had a boat.
Oh, so
So,
you was big pimping.
but I didn't know because I mean I didn't grow up with. I had chores. I had responsibility. So it's a Cosby Show episode where Cliff is like, "No, me and your mama have money.
Yeah.
You have nothing."
You have nothing. Yeah,
So
that was very clear in our
yeah,
house.
yeah. So that was the kind of the tone. I didn't have to necessarily want for none, but I was always very aware that this ain't really mine.
Yeah, you don't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
You if you hungry, but and I think that's kind of like, the thing that people look at the outside and they see the house and they see the boat, and then they begin to make an assumption about you, um,
Right.
because of what they don't have, and vice versa. We see,
Correct.
the- nothing. We
Absolutely.
see you struggling. We see you, doing things, and then we are taught to make assumptions, especially as kids.
Right.
Oh, look at you, you're poor. And then I was thinking this the other day when I was, we went to school in New Orleans, and the soldieries, the Reebok Classics, you
Okay.
know. Now there was nothing fancy about the Reebok Classic. Let's just be honest. Back then, a Reebok Classic, you get a pair for about $55.
Okay.
It wasn't like nothing for nobody. Fashion was like, let me put these Reebok Classics on. But I've always noticed that people seem, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not critiquing. This is just an observation.
Okay.
When
Well,
people don't have something, they make what they have seem very glorious, especially if more than one of them can have it. And then it becomes something that everybody wants. And so people were getting Jordans. People's parents had money for Jordans, but then here you come, you didn't listen to Juvenile and the Cash Money Hot Boys. You want to go out and get you a pair of soldieries and stuff like that. And so I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think it's just a thing that people do. But I think they, just like people who have stuff, use that and make what they have seem better, and segregate themselves from people who don't. I think people who don't kind of do the same thing, and they don't. It's maybe it's like a survival tactic, with one another, because it really never seems to work. Um, Only in the time of need does it work. So I would say this. Uh, I've lost my black card a lot of times.
I'm sure.
I've, my black card has been. I
I
I
can
don't
only imagine.
I don't like I lost my black card in elementary school when I was told I was white because I speak proper English. So I don't know how many black cards you get to lose, but I never got the first one back. So
Yeah.
I just kept losing black cards for certain things that I hadn't done.
Yeah.
Uh, and then you do begin to feel segregated, and that's a sad thing that growing up in a suburban a white suburban neighborhood like we did, or and then black people come to your school, you're like, oh man, you look like me, hello. They're like, ooh, you talking like a white boy.
Well, you, listen, I guess, yeah. Well, you talking about I bought my first pair of Jordans literally less than 2 years ago.
Mm,
I never had like I played basketball, so I would get shoes maybe for that, but like those were for basketball. Like
yeah.
don't have that shit on no other time.
Don't go outside with them on.
Yeah, and then I was never really into fashion like that. Like I don't know, I grew up like I said aware that I had my purpose was to get my grades
Hmm.
and start my life. And
That's
I
it.
was focused on that and that's it. And I was also like one of those I couldn't be born with this silver spoon and not succeed. Like cuz then
Mm,
like what the fuck are you doing with your life? You know
yeah.
what I mean? So at the time I don't necessarily think it felt like pressure per se. It just was an unspoken expectation.
Mm. That expectation is real, and that is I think that's kind of like an expectation that I just automatically felt like I was going to succeed, not in life. I knew it wasn't a given to succeed in life, but to get out of high school, like,
Oh,
oh yeah, this is I got this, and
yeah, I
so
mean,
I didn't really think about it. So I was really more concerned with like, you know, um, social acceptance. As a black man, think about it back in the '90s, dog. Like there were a whole lot of different black men you could be in the '90s. You
okay.
could
I,
be.
I don't know. I wasn't trying to be any black man.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying there was a
Yes,
lot.
yes.
You had the thug black dude, you
Okay.
had the R&B black dude, you
Okay.
had the regular Cliff Huxtable black dude,
Okay.
and then you just had like the nerdy black dude, which nobody really paid attention to. Computer
Who,
science guy.
who were you?
Uh, I was none of the above. Uh, 'Cause I couldn't sing and I wasn't thugging. I was kind of nerdy, but I didn't really want to get beat up. So I didn't really nerd out that much in public, but I mean, I really did was really big into video games, and so really, legitimately in high school, I was not trying to be involved with anyone around the schoolhouse because I was not trying to get into fisticuffs
Okay,
over
I
any of
feel you.
these
I
ladies.
feel you 1,000%
You
because
know,
I knew that was not the life for me.
because like I
No,
said, I wasn't thugging. I would
no.
look. I'm not out here to get into a fight. I like you said. I had one objective: get my learning and get
That's
on
it.
with life. That
That's it.
that's what it is.
That's
And,
it.
and
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, you hit it that on the point. Like there is a level of expectation, and someone I was talking. Matter of fact, I was talking to a white person about this. There is a level of expectation that comes with life when you do grow up coming from something.
Mommy, my tooth is used. Here, where is it? Where's
Life after
Daddy?
40.
Where's Daddy?
He's in there. Shut the door.
Where?
In the living room. Shut the door. All the way. Shut the door. Life after 40. He
That's
came
my
in. He
dog.
got loose. He got loose tooth.
That's my dog. He said, "Look, it's this Loof. We need to take care of this right now. No, no,
Okay.
go get your daddy. He
Yeah.
can put a rope on it and pull it out your mouth." But
Mm.
there is a level of expectation that comes because when you do, like you say, you do come from good stock. You know, when you do have things, people expect you to succeed. They expect you to do a certain level of something, and then when you don't, they don't expect you to do anything.
Mm.
And you know it's kind of a double-edged sword, and this young lady was like, it's not fair. It's not fair just because some people don't have anything, that they don't have the expectation to do well in life, you know and I was like,
Life ain't fair.
life ain't fair. What can we say? you know and so, like I said,
What do we have? What do we have?
that's that. Yeah, it matches my Brazil jersey.
Yes, indeed. Oh, because it's been soccer time. Yes, indeed.
Look, I look. Speaking of some
Speaking of Blackish,
blackish
come
shit.
on,
Hold on,
come
let's get into this one right
come
quick because
through.
I got popped the other day at my partner's house. He was like, "Look, bro," he goes, "I know you is one of my best friends." He goes, "I know why you do it." He says, "But I'm getting a lot of people asking me what's going on with O. He's got his nails painted and stuff. Is he gay? What's up?" And I was like, damn. I was like, are we still at the point in this culture where we associate anything that's like nail polish or anything that's kind of slightly feminine or has been booked as feminine that a man does as he's instantly gay?
Yes,
And
you're still you're
and
st
that's
it's still there. Now, like
and it's
I said, I know you,
hmm
so and that's why this topic is, it's familiar for you and I because, but so I know this your whole from head to toe, your whole get up is you. And that's what I do. That's one of the things I love most about you is you don't give shit. Like
mm-mm.
you gonna do what you want to do, how how you how you want to do it. But yes, that is still the climate.
Nah,
Yes,
it's so bad. And I told my friend, I said, bro, most of these so and so OGs are the ones who are really gay.
I
They
was
they the one they look. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna
say
say it.
it.
I'm gonna say it because it is. And then they want to be like, oh well, girl, but they don't want to say it, but then they want to go point out, you know, the little dude with the skateboard and stuff. Oh, yeah, he gay. No, you up there with your shirts off and your homeboys playing Madden and stuff. What's really going on? Everybody, everybody that wears nail polish and does things a little bit different can't we just can't keep judging that in our culture. Like
Yeah,
it's sad,
it is sad. It is.
and you get your quick kick push, you be artistic or something, and then they get mad because you come out with some chick that looks like a natural Kim Kardashian and they can't figure out why. So, you
Okay.
know, I will admit though, uh the amount of ladies that like my nails
Yeah.
and it sparks a nice conversation.
I'm sure it does. I'm
Gotten
sure.
me plenty of places. Ah!
I'm so happy for you. So
Ah!
so I can expect to let me ask you, are those gel or regular?
Nah, that was regular because
They're just regular.
if you do the gel, it take a lot to get them off. So
Yes, it
yeah,
does.
yeah, you're
A
gonna be up.
down nails. Okay.
Mm-mm. Oh
Well,
yeah,
listen,
nah, this ain't the first time.
I know it's not. I know it's not. Well, listen, it wasn't actually until I went to college because
Whew.
once I made it to New Orleans and
hmm
made it to Xavier, it truly was a whole new world for me.
Culture shock.
It was not necessarily in a bad way, but I had never really been around that many Black people at one time before, and
hmm
I was just like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Because like you said, you had all types,
Yep.
all
Yep.
types of Black men, all types of Black women, or yeah, and just like you said, it was the first time I started to kind of feel like, okay, this is cool. And of course, I found my crew,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but that was just an amazing experience because prior to that, I won't say that I wasn't afraid to be around Black people. It wasn't that. It's just I didn't know what to do. Cause look, I liked Friends. Truth, I've probably seen more episodes of Friends than I've seen of Living Single. Or
What?
I know I
Mm-mm.
like I like a lot of white music,
Me too.
but
Me too.
but so I just didn't know, like you said, how acceptable that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But being at Xavier, I was just like, and like you said, once I found my crew, I was like, okay, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that, and thankfully I got to experience that culture shock, uh, just like you did, and it was totally different because growing up around a small population of black people, you see one or two types of black people. But like you said, there were black men, black women, um, from all different walks of life, from thugs to artistic, creative people, people from the Pacific Northwest, people from the Northeast, people from the South, people from the Midwest, all these cultures mixing up, and it was all black people.
Mhm.
And I think what I liked the most about that was I didn't feel I never was told I wasn't black enough when I was there,
Right.
because it just there was just so many different black people.
Like it
You
didn't
know,
matter.
it
Your
didn't.
existence was fine.
Yeah, yeah,
It,
yeah. Like if you didn't see color purple, it was just like, well, you didn't see color purple, but
yeah.
it was always something that somebody else hadn't done, and maybe it was because we were in a situation of academia, and where we were going, everybody's minds were moving forward. But it was a beautiful thing. But then to get back to normal life, where your black circles get smaller and they're not as diverse, I guess in their socio status, then you start getting those kind of, oh man, you ain't never seen this, or you don't eat chitlins and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's one, dog. Like I promise you, I swear to God, like you have to fight me to make me eat chitlins. Like
No.
you'd
I'm,
have to
you
somebody
have
you'd have to kick
you have
my
to kill
ass to
me.
make me eat chitlins.
You have to kill me because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, now you have to whoop me till I'm just like, fuck it.
Look,
I ain't got
and
nothing
like,
left.
and look, I was the type, like you said, I don't eat. And I could go. I don't eat chitlins. I don't eat potato salad. I don't eat condiments. I don't eat hot sauce. I don't eat like you said. My card. I don't know where. At this point, I hold the key to the card. So you're gonna have to again kill me to take it because
Yeah,
my existence is good enough.
that's
But
it.
like you said, I just it was a whole lot of things that I just didn't do. But like you said, Xavier just was very liberating. It was a
Yeah,
first step to a liberation and settling into who I was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Now you found you a nice little crew.
I did.
Y'all, it was fun. We had fun.
Yeah,
I hung out with OT, and then of course, I found a gang of white people to hang out with.
you gonna
And
find it.
man, look, everybody likes to hang out with the big O. It's it's just fun.
It's
It's
what
just
it
fun.
is.
It's just what it is. Like I've never been. I say I just how I grew up. I never defined myself as black. I always just defined myself as me. And one of those things that I always found myself trying to fight was the stereotype of being seen as that black kid. Like you know I had a cell phone and a pager in high school. I'm supposed to be a drug dealer or a doctor, you
Right.
know and black men at 16 years old can't be doctors, bless you, twice. But my whole idea was I'm gonna fight the stereotype, like I'm gonna get it, and they're gonna have to respect me for me. you know
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah.
They still, you're young and dumb, they still gonna judge you and consider you a drug dealer and all that kind of stuff.
You can't carry. You got to be steadfast in who you are.
Yeah, but it also comes from, I think, solid upbringing from parents. Um, because my parents came from the country. My dad was a son of a sharecropper. My mother was uh, my grandmother was a teacher, and my grandfather was a sharecropper and worked for the railroad. So it wasn't like we just came from like yachts and boats and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But I think what my parents did was they appreciated um, taking that step up to put their children into a different situation, that was going to be better for them in the long run. Because sometimes I think what I didn't see as a kid is how my parents were shaping me to be able to maneuver in life today. Um,
Absolutely.
and a lot of things that I was not allowed to do that a lot of my black friends were allowed to do. Um, I could see how that shaped me to be here and probably put me into a lot of positions of success
Absolutely.
uh, in my life. But
Absolutely.
an interesting thing that my sister brought up about the whole blackish thing, is the movies. Someone was asking her, has she seen Cooley High?" And she was like, "No."
No.
And so
Mm-mm.
they start naming off all these movies. She's like, "No, we never watched any of those growing up." And so she asked my mother why, and she goes, "I just didn't want to watch those movies. So why was I gonna sit there and make y'all watch them if I didn't want to watch them?" And so it kind of just was like, wow, my mother was the kind of person that did her own thing, regardless of what the entire black culture around her was saying. She was not just bombarding us with black entertainment. She was what she watched is what I watched. Like I grew up watching, you said Cosby Show, Dynasty, Dallas,
Yeah.
Andy Griffith,
Yeah.
Barney Miller,
I Love
uh, I
Lucy.
Love Lucy.
Every episode of I Love.
Every episode, Red Fox, all these things. Like
Yeah.
I was exposed, Good Times, the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
I was exposed to black culture, but I think what I was not allowed to be exposed to was what one might consider as the dark side of black culture, the things that look enticing. Like let's just be real. The life of the streets looks enticing when you romanticize it in these movies that sometimes they get like shows like Power and stuff, but the reality of it is for a young black man and a young black woman in that day and time and in this day and time,
Yeah.
it's not going to turn out very well for you.
Yeah.
So I
I
think they did a good job of,
I agree. I like I said, I grew up. I'm very like looking back now. I'm very thankful. My dad was very eclectic. He had a group of Baskin Robin friends, so I was always around people. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she was very cultured, and still I said was she still is. So
mm,
like she would take us to the symphony and to plays. Like we would get dressed up, and
yeah.
she put me in skating where I was traveling the country. Again, it was me and JoJo. That's it.
Oh, that's right, dog.
And
I remember you showed us pictures in high school, and I kept
I
calling it
mean,
roller
it
derby.
was wild. So like I skated down in the South for a long time, and that was very racist, as you can imagine. And then I got I was teamed up with a husband and wife coach from, I believe, Ohio they were from. And so then that's when we started traveling, and we would go to Ohio, Illinois, Kansas, we go up north. And I mean, it was just, I'd never seen white people respond to me,
Yeah,
a black person, that way. It was totally different.
isn't it?
So I was just like, I mean, I was a kid, so I'm telling it from a 41-year-old mind now, but back then I was just like I said, because everybody else I skated with was white. So down here, I would skate, I'd do perfect. I couldn't win nothing. Up there, I do the same thing, and I mean, people would be coming up to me, oh my god, because I've been this long and this tall forever.
Yeah,
And so people would come up to me and they'd be, "Oh my God, you're so elegant. You skate so beautiful." And I'd just be looking, "Thank you." Now, and
right.
I'm ready. I'm through skating. I'm ready to go play with my friends.
Yeah,
But it just was a different world. Like I said, introducing me to different things. My aunt, like I said, we get dressed up and go just just to different cultural things.
yeah.
So like you said, that those times and doing things like that proved to just like I said, just introduce me to different cultures, different worlds, different and I definitely feel 100% I'm a better person because of all of that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can I can point out one thing is like that besides sports was Boy Scouts. I know right now I think there's like 8 of us in that troop, and I'm still friends with 4 of these guys. You know, and like one of them I saw the other day at the Cowboys game. I was like, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he's like, man, and I recently shaved, so I look like I did in 5th grade, and and, and we immediately recognize each other. Totally different cultures, but you get exposed to those things, and I think it's important for
Very.
a parent, uh, especially right now. I mean, just don't expose your child to just one culture.
Yes.
Expose him to great music of all cultures. Like I don't know I don't know how I got into classical music. I don't
Oh,
know what it was, but
yes. I
could have
love
been
it.
just I love it, but it could have been just, going through the radio stations one day. But that wasn't socially accepted because everybody was just listening to hip hop, and like we had a big riff, back then with rock music and this, but like I loved all that kind of music. Like I just liked the music. And so, you know,
In my mind, is it Third Eye Blind, Kryptonite?
hmm
That song
I
Kryptonite?
believe it is.
I feel if I concentrated enough and you handed me some drums,
Hmm.
that I could play that whole song. That is my whole jam right there.
Yeah, yeah. I think, and I know I have no skill in percussion because I was in band. They make you take this little
No, I
test.
wasn't either. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
feel that song does it to me
yeah,
where I feel I
yeah.
can
I
do
could
it.
just,
Yeah, right.
it's like, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what is that.
Yeah,
What is that thing up there? It's an upside down symbol. Hit
yeah,
that bad boy. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I love that. And you know what? The beauty of where we grew up in DeSoto, at the time that we grew up in DeSoto, I've had a lot of people, black people and white people and Mexican people, tell me this about that area. Um, it was a great time because it was very mixed around the time we graduated, very diverse. Like I have friends of all cultures that I see in streets, and people walk up to me and hug me, and it amazes some of my black friends when just random white women are like, oh my god, oh my, just run up to me, just give me this big hug, and like they're like, who is this white lady? It's like, oh, I went to school with her daughter. And they're like, oh, okay, but like there's just it, that was one of the benefits of growing up in that kind of situation. Like I just feel like I'm a well-rounded person when it comes to being around cultures. And it makes me open to accepting other cultures
I
too.
was just about to say that. It it brings down the wall of hatred, the
Hmm.
wall of fear of what other cultures could be because you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, expressions of the so-called norm frightens people, right? So
100%.
when you don't know something or it looks different than what you're used to seeing, especially when you've gone so many years without seeing it into adulthood, it's easy for that fear to be triggered as to what is that? Then they trying to take over. Da, 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 da. No,
Yeah.
no. People on the scale, people are people. It's good people and bad people across the cultural board. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna close on this.
Okay.
To piggyback off this, um, we had a vet, and we had a dog once, and just just temperamental, just angry for no reason. And my mom took him to the vet. And she was like, I mean, told her what was going on, and he kind of looked at us. He goes, "Well," he said, "just like humans, you have good humans, you have bad humans, you have smart humans, you have dumb humans, you have humans that are usually happy, humans who are usually angry." He said, "But they're all humans." He said, "Same thing with dogs." Like, and it just made me really, it really hit me that like I'm judging this animal as just a dog, but it does have a personality. It does have feelings. It can be an angry dog, and so it just put this whole new light in me about judging people just on who they are. And so from someone who's grown up feeling like they've been judged a lot of times, and probably have, because like I said, I lost my black card in like first grade, and I lost it multiple times since then. um I hope people realize that just don't judge people by who they are, what you see. Give them a chance. Like I say, give them a chance to bury themselves if they're gonna do
Okay.
it. You
And
know.
let, and let me say, like I said, we grew up in DeSoto, which was very white at the time.
Hmm.
Then I went then once I left high school, I went on about 20-year hiatus of like all blackness.
Hmm.
And now I live in what I call Mayberry, which is like DeSoto again.
Oh boy.
No, but it's been so refreshing because with all of the hate of black and white, and like I said, I haven't had conversations with any of these people about their religious affiliations or their um, political affiliations. I can assume, but that
Hmm.
would make me an ass if I did assume.
Hmm.
But just the kindness, the friendliness, uh, the hospitality that I've been shown here from people that don't look anything like me. And you see my hair, I've had a fro hair, I've had orange hair, you know what I mean? So it's been very accepting and it's been very refreshing for me to just see that kindness. And that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kindness,
that's it.
and I'll admit, I felt a little because my first birthday party here, I was just like, and me and my kids was the look. Let me tell you the story. We went, right, we went to. I had to check myself because we went to I can't remember where we were, but it was literally me and my children.
Hmm.
And the lady goes, "Oh, which which kid is yours?" And I just looked at her,
Ah,
and
uh,
I had to check myself that she was. I had to. I was like, okay, the intention was that she was maybe just trying to make conversation.
mhm,
Don't rip her a new one just
mhm.
yet, you know. And yeah, I was like, let take one guess.
Yeah, I'll let you get. Matter of fact,
I'll give you two guesses.
you can guess it until you get it.
But no, overall, my no, exceedingly and above, my experience here has been I will say a much needed one. I'm hoping for as I move forward in life, just to, like I said, just to see that climate that's always just thrown at you, white, black, white. That's that's not always just the tone all the time.
Yeah, I'd rather just be human.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah. You either ass or not. All asses over here, and it's gonna be an abundance of colors and all. And then you get your blue nails and your raccoon hat, and yes,
Yeah,
and that's it. And we gonna be us.
yeah, yeah.
O me and AD.
All right. So next week, look, we've been telling y'all we were gonna get into some medical stuff, but
Listen,
then
I ain't gonna promise that because we starting to be liars. So
look,
just come back next week
it's gonna
and
be
you
on.
gonna see what we gonna talk about.
Look. Follow us on. Do we have a Twitter? No, we can't do Twitter. Everybody's leaving Twitter right now.
I've
E-
never been on Twitter, so
Don't
okay.
go. Elon Musk is messing it up.
Okay.
Anyway, let's
Okay.
get out of here. Look, next week, be here,
Yeah.
9 o'clock sharp.
Yeah.
We'll be here 9 o'clock sharp. We're gonna talk about some more after 40 stuff. Might be health related, might be mental health related,
Maybe
might just be talking shit
I
about people we don't like. I don't know. Just well, no, we ain't gonna do that.
ain't gonna do that.
But no, we're gonna have some fun. But we appreciate y'all checking us out. Shout outs to all the people that I actually had like 6 people I talked to this week that said they love the show. Sometimes they can't watch live and they go back and watch it on the re-air on the YouTube. So shout outs
Oh,
to everybody if you're checking us out on the re-air. Show somebody, you know, pull your mom and them and sit them down around the TV and make them watch a couple episodes. We
absolutely.
appreciate it. Tell them to subscribe. We'll catch
Be
y'all next Thursday.